Welcome back to CryptosRUs. I am George. We're all George. So, crypto fear index is at all-time low at 10, and fear is high. So, what should you do while Bitcoin is down? What should you do when the entire market is bleeding? Well, today I'm going to let you know exactly what I'm going to do. All right, thanks for tuning in. As always, smash up the like, subscribe to the channel. 2 streams almost every day, 11:30 and 8:30 p.m. Central Standard Time. Make sure you hit that notification bell and follow me on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and check out all the latest news, article, and guides at CryptosRUs.com. I think Phil in the chat summed it up the best. Go on vacation and don't look at your portfolio. Well, that is not a bad idea. All right, taking a look at Bitcoin, we are straddling that 41,000 mark, and we hit it a couple times. So I put down a new line showing that, yeah, we hit it 1, 2, 3. Will 41K hold? I mean, take a look at the fear index. It is at 10, all-time low. Actually, I don't know if it's all-time low. I think to recall that we did go below 10 once. Maybe not. But if you take a look at the 1 year one year track of the fear and greed index, you could see that when Bitcoin fell down to 40,000, the fear index never went below 20s. But we have seen 10s when Bitcoin fell to 28,000 in mid-2021. So take a look at that. And every single time, it seemed like Bitcoin was going to come right back up. It kept falling, and it kind of just stood at that 30,000 mark for 2 to 3 months. And it's looking like we're kind of in that same situation. Fear level overall wasn't that bad. We've been hovering between 20 and 30 for quite some time, but today is really the day where it broke down to 10. But the good news is every time Bitcoin's fear level or crypto fear level hit 10, every time it happened, well, that was actually a really good buying opportunity. So it could be exactly the same way as right now. Okay, so fear is definitely high. Bitcoin is at 41. Altcoins are bleeding out, right? So what should we do about it? What should we do about it? Well, let me first show you some things, give you some encouragement. So take a look at this. First of all, going 1 year back, January 8th, 2021. Okay, we are actually at the same level. We're actually at the same level as a year ago. But here's the thing. Take a look at the difference. 2021 actually was when we were not fearful and when the greed index was really, really high. Because prior to January 8th, 2021, you know what happened? Bitcoin was rallying. Bitcoin was at below 20,000 before January 8th. So this is how the mentality is now. 1 year ago and now we're at the same price, yet we are at extreme fear level. Okay? When before we were at extreme greed level. So just to kind of show you, right? We have been here before. We definitely have been here before. But how things look very different when we're rallying. Everyone is feeling good, right? But people quickly forget when we start coming down. But just to put things in perspective, yes, we're at the same exact point as 1 year ago. We're no lower, right? We haven't done anything catastrophic just yet. Although we did have some fear from the Fed, we have some FUD from the hedge funds and possibly the VCs, but Bitcoin is still at the same place it was a year ago. So, just to put things in perspective for you guys, okay? Now, what else is there? Well, unfortunately, liquidations happened the last few days, last few weeks, but it does look like volume for liquidations is starting to dissipate because there are just not that many leverage players out there. So that's good. That's good. I've been saying don't play with leverage. You wreck yourself and you wreck others. So you could see that even though Bitcoin came down a little bit more, you can see on the right side, about 30 million liquidated, another 36. So yeah, you have about 70 million more liquidated, but it's definitely a lot less than some of the previous days we've seen in a week. So that's overall pretty positive, right? So shorts is coming down. Volume is getting low, right? Again, combined with the fear index at 10, which is an all-time low, it's looking like this is actually a pretty prime time to be buying the dip. However, I'm not the only one that thinks so. New New York City mayor believes the same thing. Eric Adams, he's actually getting his first 3 paychecks in Bitcoin, and his plans are still to make New York City the center of blockchain technology. He's very serious. He's following the same footsteps as Mayor Suarez of Miami, who's kind of started a trend. Now New York City, the biggest city in the United States, one of the biggest cities in the world, is about to be transformed by Bitcoin and blockchain. So I'm not the only one that feels like this is a good buying opportunity. You want to buy low, you buy the dips, and you ride it higher. And I do have something else to show about that. Now, also putting things into perspective, okay? Some of the previous bear market, if you could call what we're in a bear market, if you could call our 30,000 a bear market, I'm not going to call those bear markets, but let's just say it is. Okay? Again, 2017, 2018, how low did we get? 3,000. Not good. Not good. Then we had one in 2019 when we fell down to 10,000. Okay. We had one fell down to about 4,000. But look at how things have changed now in 2021 and 2022. When before we were below 10,000, now people are panicking about Bitcoin hitting 30,000 and about Bitcoin hitting 40,000, right? Again, how things have changed. Those of you guys that stuck around 2018, 2019, and 2020, you know how bad things were before with very little hope. Right now is not like before. Things have changed drastically. So I know a lot of you guys are feeling down from our high of 69,000 down to where we are now, right? But just know that even now is not nearly as bad as 2021 or any time in 2020, basically, because we were hovering below 20,000, and in most years we were below 10,000. So think about that, okay? And think about during those times how low alts were. They were basically non-existent versus now, while DeFi is rallying, right? So there you go. Also, just a few other things. PayPal is still going full throttle with crypto. Rumors now, not rumors, confirmed rumors, they are coming in with the new stablecoins. Whether or not the regulators will be okay to that, don't know. But again, it does show growing adoption. PayPal already has 335 million customers that can now buy Bitcoin straight from their wallet. They're opening up merchants to accept Bitcoin and crypto. And now they plan on making themselves even more pro-blockchain by coming out with their own stablecoin. And who knows which chain it's going to be running on. Will it be their own chain, or will they utilize someone like maybe Stellar or someone else to run their new stablecoin? So there are a lot of stuff still happening, okay? A lot of growing adoption, and still early. So not the time to be panicking. Okay, now last few things I want to show you, and this is important, and this is something that I said I was going to do in 2022, but before I get into that, I did say I want to show you guys the power, or Yeah, basically the power of buying low, right? Or you could DCA on a schedule. I've shown this before, and this kind of puts things into perspective, okay? Had you put $100 in every single week at the same time since the beginning of 2018 to now, so roughly 4 years, right? Ignoring volatility, ignoring up and downs, fear level, all the FUD, everything, right? You would be up 337%. That's discounting everything. You would have total invested would have been about 21,000, and now you would be at $92,000. Okay, that's just a small amount every week, and you ignore everything. And if you go back further and you go back further, that number keeps climbing, and that's just how it is. Dollar cost averaging a long haul works. It does. You just have to have patience. If you do it week by week, month to month, you may not notice it because of the up and downs, but if you stretch that out to years, well, then you're really going to start noticing how it's really, really working. And this is just for Bitcoin. If you do this with Ethereum and any other L1s, I mean, the ROI would be in tens of thousands of percent. I mean, it would be astronomical. So again, DCA works. Buying the dips works. Holding works. You just have to have patience. Okay, now besides DCA, something else that I said I was going to do in 2021 is look more into DeFi and staking. Because if you do plan on holding, why not earn rewards from staking? You're not selling it, you're keeping it, but you're earning rewards while you're staking. So today I'm going to cover a few projects that I haven't talked about before. You may have heard of before, but these are decentralized projects that you could utilize to earn rewards while you're holding and while you're DCing and while you're buying. All right, so let's start out with two of the biggest borrowing, lending, DeFi projects out there. That includes Aave and Compound. Okay, both of these very, very simple. Very simple. You could deposit and earn APY, or you could borrow and pay an APY. I mean, it's really that simple, right? And if you're holding on stable coins or any other regular crypto, you could deposit and earn interest. And the thing is, you could take it out anytime, right? These are not locked in. So, for example, if you had, let's say, DAI or Gemini Dollar or USDC, right? You could get 3% APY. I mean, they're not horribly, or they're not very, very, very high, but you're getting something. And there's nothing wrong with getting something simply by just putting it there, right? So Binance USD, 2%, and then you got some others like Curve at 2.25. So those are just example of what you can get with these, right? Now, if you go to Compound, they're a little bit better. 4%, almost 5% for USDT, USDC, DAI, Uniswap, you get 2%. You could get, Yearn, almost 7%. Augur, which, I don't even know about Augur, but there's a little bit more there, right? Just to show you, there are decentralized lending projects that you can earn interest with very, very, very easily. All you have to do is go to the web pages, click into the app, connect your MetaMask wallet to it. These are all ERC20 based, and basically you're just depositing in, right? So that's two examples. Very, very easy. Now, what about others? There are others. What about something like Yearn? Some of you guys have asked about Yearn. Yearn is a yield farming project. Basically, they do the hard work for you. When you deposit into their vault, they will automatically look at all these other projects like Aave and Compound and many others and see what is the best way to make money. So by doing that, they give you some pretty good rewards. Much higher than if you just deposit in Aave and Compound, but there's higher risk because Yearn has been hacked before many times in 2021. Okay, so there is a risk there. But for example, you could deposit USDT for almost 11%, Sushi at 9%, and there's many others like even Aave at 6.22%. So there are others in here that's quite high. And Yearn is also decentralized. This is more of a yield farming project, but it is something that you could take advantage of also. Okay, so that's another one I want to show you guys. There's another one, ThorSwap, on top of ThorChain. Okay, so this is a liquidity provider only. Basically, this whole project is providing liquidity for other DeFi projects. And it's kind of the same way you're depositing liquidity. You could do one-sided or both-sided. Some of you guys are aware of how liquidity pools work, where you're depositing on both sides. With ThorSwap, you could do where it's just like one side only. And if you're looking at an APY, it's actually pretty good. Like for example, BNB, you get 19%, BUSD at 26%, even Bitcoin is at 18%, and ETH at 15%. These are quite high for APY, highest for regular crypto, and even for stablecoins, very high. Again, there is a risk level here because ThorChain has also been hacked before. Now, they did cover it. They had insurance. They had enough in their emergency funds to cover the hack, but they have been hacked before. So again, there is risk. There is risk. So this is one of the things I've said about, well, what I said in yesterday's video, is when it comes to staking and earning rewards, there's always a risk. That's why you're getting something. That's why you tend to want to spread it out. You don't want to put all your eggs in one basket because if something happens, well, you're kind of screwed, right? But you could take advantage of one and another and another and another and kind of spread it out so that you're protected. You're protected. But this is another example. I've heard many people use ThorSwap to kind of earn some pretty good APY. Okay, so you got regular projects, decentralized projects for borrowing, lending, right? But mostly in your case, you want to let others borrow it. So that's why you're getting interest. You have yield farming projects like Yearn. You have liquidity providers like Thor, or you just have regular projects. You just have regular projects that want you to stake their native token to help power their network. Okay, so for example, there is a play to earn game that I'm very interested in. And it's coming out in maybe this quarter, right? Illuvium. So decide to look up Illuvium. Does Illuvium have staking? Well, yeah, they do. They do. So you could do native staking, or you could provide liquidity into AMM. So you could see on here, staking.illuvium.io, you could stake up to 30 and get up to 31% APY, or you can put in a liquidity pool and get up to 329% APY, right? So there's a lot of just normal staking that you could do. If you have a token or a coin from a project, most likely you can stake it and help power the network or power the app of that coin, right? So in this case, this is a little deceiving though, because if you actually stake, there is a sliding scale. You don't just get 31%. Like for example, Illuvium, the base is around 15.74%, which isn't bad. But if you lock it in, let's say for a week, it's 16% and it starts climbing up. You lock it in for 15 weeks, it goes 20%. You lock it in for 1 year, then it goes to 31%. So there is a sliding scale there. But if you plan on holding it, why would you not do it anyways, right? So I have Illuvium. I told you guys I am interested in this project, so I decided to stake it too, right? And of course, there's other ones. I've talked about Anchor quite a bit. After doing a poll and researching, it seems like the consensus is most people think this is the best way to stake with almost no risk. And that is exactly what I've done. I did this earlier this week, right? Earlier this week. Put a good amount in here, but earning 19.55 by staking UST in the DeFi project Anchor, which is, of course, one of the projects on Terra. And basically, because it's based on UST, there's no volatility. And I'm just earning interest every single day, and 19.55 is not too shabby, right? So there's just a lot of options out there. And I think this is important. I think this is something that I've missed out on for many years. Many people have asked me about staking. Why don't you stake? Why don't you stake? Why don't you stake, right? I've always said, it's not my thing. It's not worth it, right? But now I'm thinking that was my fault. I should have been all along, because I've been holding a lot of these coins for years. And had I been staking them, I would have made a lot more, right? So now that Bitcoin and the market may be weak, right, and may be here for quite some time, you know what? The strategy doesn't change. I'm going to continue to hold. I'm going to continue to DCA and buy the dips. But now I'm going to be utilizing a lot more of these DeFi projects. And I'm going to show you guys while I'm doing it. So hopefully it helps educate you guys, to help you guys stay motivated and stay in the game. All right. So there you go. There you go. That's pretty much it. Overall, yeah, if you go on CMC, it's not a fun time to go down the list right now. But let's do some Q&A. Let's see here. Let's see here. Well, it did wick down to about 40,600, and this was yesterday. It looks like it wants to hit that point. Let's see what happens. Let's see what happens. But again, want to remind you guys, the same point as a year ago, except a year ago, everyone was rallying. Everyone was was greedy. Fear and greed index was high. And we're the opposite now. So again, to kind of put things in perspective. All right, here we go. Noah says Ancient T32. Fantastic buy, Coinbase listing. Yes. No, I do like Helium quite a lot. And they have held very well. Even right now, Helium is, like you said, 32. I remember when I did my video on them. Oh no, they're not 32. They're 43. Is this right? Wow. Yeah, they're continuing to go up. But when I did my video on Helium in 2021, early 2021, they were like unknown to anyone. And I'm like, this looks promising. And then back then it was like $8, right? So they have done very, very well so far. Did you see Flux announce a partnership with NVIDIA today? I did not. But it sounds like NVIDIA is about to jump in. Let's see. Oh, that was no. Flux partners with NVIDIA to bring Web 3.0 to the next level. 3 hours ago, Flux has been accepted in NVIDIA Inception program as a premier partner. Flux will be able to evolve faster through access NVIDIA's cutting technology experts. Okay, well, this is the kind of the opposite. I thought NVIDIA wanted to jump into the Web 3.0, but it looks like Flux is now part of NVIDIA's Inception program. But regardless, it's good for Flux. It's good for Flux. And it's good for Cadena. So, I like that. Titano financing. I don't know that one. Let's see how they've done. Actually, they've been doing pretty well, but very, very low market cap. It's on Binance Smart Chain. The best auto staking, auto compounding protocol in crypto. Yeah, so this sounds like it's a Yearn, but on Binance Smart Chain. That scares me right there. That's just insane. That is insane. There's a lot of projects that I think it's categorized as rebasing, which gives you incredibly high APYs, but I'm not sure I trust them at all. So this sounds like it's kind of like that. But I may look into it anyways, just because I want to force myself to understand more. I have one of those McRib NFTs. Sell it, or I would hold that long term. I think long term, it is the very first NFTs. So the very first collection from McDonald's, I think that's going to be worth a lot more in the future than now. Great job on the stream, Ben says. Secondly, do you think we're still in a bull market despite the dip? Yes. Now, I think the definition of a bull market in relation to the 4-year cycle, I think that definition may have to change. Because traditionally, you would see that Bitcoin goes up 1 year out of a 4-year cycle, and that's technically the bull market, and it's down 3 years, and that's crypto winter, right? But if we have no more 4-year cycles, because we have broken it, and we continue on, then that definition of what's a bull market and crypto winter has to be changed. I mean, according to the equities market, technically, anything that's down over 20% is in a bear market. But we know with Bitcoin and crypto, that could come every week. You could have wild swings within a week, right, between bull and bear market. So I think that definition has to change. But yes, I do believe, in my case, I believe Bitcoin has not hit that top. So that's why I believe we're still in a bull market. So, but I think it depends on your definition, everyone's definition. What about BitTrue's new yield hub? I have not heard of BitTrue, or have I? It sounds familiar, but yep. And by the way, hopefully you guys enjoyed my video on DeFi Kingdoms yesterday, because I've heard a lot of people talk about it. And the reason why I chose it, because I'm a big fan of Harmony. You guys know that. Harmony is a project based in Silicon Valley by Stephen Tsai. And, I think they're doing good things. But they're really, really, really being carried, I think, by DeFi Kingdoms. Not only by DeFi Kingdoms. They have a growing ecosystem, right? But DeFi Kingdoms definitely something that's been brought to my attention early on. Ignored it. I'm like, yeah, it looks okay. But it has really gotten a lot of traction, and I could see why, right? So I decided to dip my toes in there, and so far it's working out pretty well. Although there's a locking schedule, so you get about a third that you can unlock right away, and about 2/3 is locked according to schedule, which will start vesting starting in July of this year. So it's only about 6 months. But overall, it's still worth it as long as it can continue on. So let's see here. Solar Dex. Is this Solar? This one? I hope it's not this one. Solar Mine? Solar B? I don't know which one is. So there's no Solar Dex here. Probably Solar Beam or Solar Mine. It's probably Solar Mine, right? Yeah, that's not looking good today. I'll skip this one. Julio, thanks for holding us down. You're a man. Thank you. I appreciate it. I can only say this so many times. I've been through this, okay? And I've been through it. It's not like I'm a machine. I feel a down market. I feel the fear too, right? But I've learned, or I'm trying to learn from my mistakes, not make any rash moves, not panicking, right? Continuing forward, and I'm getting to DeFi. I'm going to get into DeFi and get some rewards. And some of these are substantial rewards. Substantial, not just a small amount. Like, if you take it in the context of, let's say, like getting a normal job, I mean, it's way more rewarding with a lot less work, right? But not to say there isn't risk. There is risk. Some of these projects get hacked, and sometimes there's rug pulls, right? And there's vulnerabilities, and there's just problems overall. There's risk. So the higher the rate, the higher the risk, right? So it depends on your risk tolerance. If you wanted to just stake, very simply, you don't want to learn about wallets, you don't want to transfer or bridge between tokens or anything like that, even centralized exchanges like Coinbase and Gemini They have their own earn program. All you have to do is click a button and deposit. There is an unlock period, usually about a week, but if it's sitting there anyways, you know, you go collect some interest, right? Of course, there's other centralized exchanges too, or services, platforms like BlockFi, which is one of my partners. I mean, they give a little better rate than, say, Coinbase and Gemini, right? USDT, USDC, Bitcoin, Ethereum, Litecoin. There's a lot that you could do. A lot that you can deposit, I should say. So BlockFi, also based in the US, one of the biggest, lending platforms out there. So you could utilize them. But if you're trying to go the decentralized route, you definitely have to pick up a few things. First of all, you have to know how to use MetaMask. That is the most important, right? Or a browser wallet. You need to know how to utilize that. You need to know how to send crypto from one wallet to another. Always test with a small amount first. Don't send everything at once. Always test with a small amount, right? And that's pretty much it. And I guess you got to learn how to bridge between certain coins and work with wrap tokens sometimes. But there's a learning curve, but it's not nearly as hard as you think, especially if you've been transferring between wallets already. BCA says, I think DeFi Kingdom as play to P to D. I don't even know what that D stands for. Play to DEX, not PTE. Playing in game, not only do you earn it, but also affects your staking liquidity pool. That's the innovation I haven't seen before. It does seem like that. It seems to be on a fence. That some people say it's not a game. It's a DEX with a game it's a DEX that's gamified. And then some say it's a game, right? I know you can buy a hero, you can mint a hero, you can lend a hero, and then you could do quests with the hero and also make money. But I'm not involved with any of those things yet. So I do have to figure it out. Don says Sailor only buys at the top. I would not be surprised if Michael comes out and said I bought some Bitcoin at $69. No, I'm just kidding. But he does seem to buy on top, and I do believe he does it on purpose. I think he's doing some, tax loss harvesting, but with those buys. I'm pretty sure that's why he does it. But again, he's a true DCer at this point. He's gonna continue to buy and hold and buy and hold. So I think he's gonna be just fine. He's just fine. Someone says check Fuse network. Relatively small, really small. Let's see. They fell off a cliff this morning, or today, I should say. Overall, yeah, that scares me a little bit. 1 year, from 22 cents all the way up to $1.70, and now down to 91. I don't like that. I don't like the look of that. Infrastructure for open source money. Mobile money, plug and play, built for scale, customize your own wallet and currency. Okay, mint your own token. So it helps you create your own tokens and utilize it for your own payment network, right? That's what it sounds like. Interesting concept, though. I think you got to be careful. If you're in the US or anywhere else where it's illegal to create your own money without being regulated, you got to be careful. I have seen Swissborg before, but it's not available for US customers, but it's like an all-in-one DeFi app. I've seen it before. And it looks pretty good. What if Sailor buys low at $30? I mean, that's how you're supposed to do it. Because he's technically not DCing on a schedule. He's just buying a dip, but there you go. Michael says, I missed the intro video. Here's the thing. Some of you guys liked that video. Others hated it, and they told me they really, really don't like it. And I did a poll. More people hate it than love it, so I'm going to save that for something special. VeChain DCA on point. Yes. There's a lot of lot of buying opportunity, guys. A lot of buying opportunities, but I did bring up my spreadsheet. I plan on having it updated a few days ago, talking about which projects are more VC heavy, and I'm going to DCA less into those projects. I'm still going to keep them because I still think some of them are fantastic, but I'm going to DCA less into those projects and more into projects with less VC involvement because they could be following what the hedge funds are doing. So yeah, that's the only, I guess, new consideration. I guess that's the only thing. Yeah, you can see Bitcoin bounce back up above 41. So it seems like it hit that same point of this morning, 40,600. You can see a little wick here, a little wick over here. Now it's above. Let's see if it can hold above 41 and hover between 41 and 42, right? But obviously we've been stair-stepping down a little bit from our 45.6 mark. Then we stair-step down to about 42.5. Now we're for around 41, okay? But we will find that bottom. We will find that bottom, and this could be it because fear level is at 10. And normally when we hit this kind of extreme fear, that's when things usually come up. I see this all the time. Usually when you get to the point where you feel like you can't take it anymore, that breaking point where you're like, I've lost too much in unrealized gains, okay, unrealized loss, let's say. It's too much. I need to sell right now before it goes lower. Like you're at that boiling point. Usually when you get there, you want to hold one more day because when you're there, that's usually when things come up. I mean, I've seen it so many times. I can't tell you how many times during my crypto days where I hit that boiling point and I'm like, I got to dump right now. And then I've learned, okay, when you get to that point, when you truly get to that point, hold one more day because that's usually when it comes right back up. It's always the case like that. All right, guys, that's it. Thanks for tuning in. As always, smash the like, subscribe to the channel. Stay strong, my friends. Utilize right now, if you're not educated, to learn more about DeFi like I am, learn about wallets, learn about how to take advantage, right? And of course, take advantage and DCA if you can, because we will get past this and we will come back. And when we do, we'll be stronger. All right, smash the like, and I'll see you guys tonight, 8:30 p.m. Central Standard Time. All right, take care. Bye-bye.